If you're driving, please remember to use your car's Bluetooth speaker while listening to the AM Drive. Sports talk is not worth your safety or the safety of others.
Grab your popcorn and sit back.
Jump the gun. Oh, no, give me more than that. Okay, go this way. That was dumb. We are.
How could I tell you when nobody wants to? Your favorite words I would show.
Happy Friday to everyone in the sports universe. This is the AM Drive, and we are live. For Aaron Crouch in the Las Vegas, Nevada sports universe, I am Michael Carvelis in Savannah-ish, Georgia. Aaron, are you ready for a week preview of the NFL?
Always.
Ooh, me too. Head to MikeandAaronDrive.com. We're both decked out in the hoodies today. Not because it's cold outside, just because I've been a company man the last couple of shows.
Yeah, that boy.
I know, right? You can go there and get awesome stuff from our shop, like this phone case, which I never use. It's just a great phone case to have on display. That tumbler,
which I always use.
Right. Aaron, where's the black mug, man? I haven't seen that puppy in a while.
You know, I've just been using the tumbler for coffee lately, and it keeps it hot. And you know, my wife even bought me a couple mugs. I just haven't used them. The tumbler's been super handy lately.
I'm more of a tumbler guy too. I don't know what it is. I feel like women are more mugs.
I think women are more tumblers. Haven't you heard all this?
The black is nice though.
The Stanley Cup expressions, and you haven't seen this with the women. They buy these big old, like, just, I guess they're out of the realm of tumblers, but they're like just big cups. My wife has two of them too, but I guess there's a trend that the moms,
they're like two-tone.
I don't know if they're two-tone. They can be. They're multiple colors, but the moms, they're just large, decked out.
Yeah, I've seen those. I saw them at a hospital I worked at a few years ago. I was like, these things are popular.
That's where they kind of originated, was hospitals. My wife got a big tumbler. I guess they're tumblers.
They are tumblers.
Yeah, she got a big one, and I guess the moms of TikTok or whatever, they call them Stanley Cups, like as a joke. So my wife has two of those. One when she had our son, and then she just bought another one just because women, if there's one thing that women, other than purses, that women can't have enough of, it's tumblers and cups. Don't let them fool you.
Oh yeah, my mom's huge on mugs. Like, oh my gosh, like this cabinet's getting full.
I don't get it. I'm still using. I take a jug of water to work, and I've been using the same one for like 8 years.
Right.
Starting to leak a little bit.
Ooh.
Maybe I need a new Stanley Cup.
Right. Thursday night football recap. Eagles beat the Vikings 34-28. I did not catch this game live. I did catch the replay via NFL Plus Premium. That's free advertising, by the way. Listen, Vikings, I was watching the game with the Buccaneers from week one compared to this game. I don't think the problem is Kirk Cousins, even though I do think Kirk Cousins does not have a big arm, obviously. He doesn't have mobility, but that offensive line is not very good. Like, Alexander Madison for 2 weeks has been bottled up. Granted, by a Bucs defense and a Eagles defense, which both pretty stout. But I see a lot of Vikings fans calling for Kirk Cousins' heads. I'm like, I don't think that's the case right now. I think their defensive secondary can be got. I think their offensive line is average at best. And I think they played two pretty good teams in the first 2 weeks. I know the Buccaneers, like I said, that's good defense. I think Eagles do what they need to do, but watching DeAndre Swift carve them up was pretty rough. They couldn't get anything.
Yeah, you're right. This is obviously losing, the Bucs game causes this game to be much more magnified because you're now 0-2. Yep. We know the dreaded 0-2 curse. Lucky for them.
16-game seasons, yeah.
Yeah, lucky for them in the NFC North. They're not out of it because we'll figure out what happens here after week number 2. They can't run the football. I mean, like you said, the defense for the Bucs have always been a stout, run game or run defense. Philly's best in the league, probably. You could argue that. You could find something, but I don't know. I don't know what to make of the Vikings because I mean, Kirk Cousins has 600 plus yards through 2 weeks, and they're 0-2. So It's not like he can't throw the football, but I think they just dig themselves into holes. Early on in the game, number 4. At first, I thought it was Dalvin Cook, but I don't know who it is now. But
Right.
costly fumble heading into the red zone. That's obviously going to put you back against teams like the Eagles. I mean, it's tough. You know, it's tough to watch football now when I'm thinking, oh, Vikings covered, great. You know, but they actually played pretty poorly this game.
Well, actually, it's funny because I think the game went down to 6 before the game started.
I saw 7 and 6.5 most of the week. It might have closed at 6, but I ended up actually teasing this game.
Yeah, can't stand you.
Hey, why? If you can't,
It's working.
I will completely admit I can't beat the NFL straight up. So if you're gonna let me move it a touchdown, that's what I'm gonna take my chances. I'll pay a little juice for it.
Based on the AM Drive 5 are not bad, but we could be a lot better.
Yeah, I've just been killing it with the teasers this first couple weeks. So like I said,
ticklish.
I don't mind moving the goalposts to make money at this point.
Good point. As for the Eagles side, I feel like DeAndre Swift, God, I mean, it's one of those things. When he's healthy, he's really good. I feel like his vision is off the charts. Like, I know he's got the electric speed for his size, but he was very impressive. And I feel like at first, I kind of course, the first quarter was terrible by both teams.
Right.
Obviously, Thursday night games. But I was kind of like not liking the offense at first, but kind of like the elements that they actually have a power run game now. I said it with the Chiefs last year. They had something going there. I really think the Eagles can do well with this not so flashy all the time passing, but, ground and pound. Show your physical intangibles because you do have an offensive line, which is also pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, I know they have Rashad Penny also in this stable. Kenneth Gainwell got hurt. I think he was inactive for this game. So the fact that they were able to get what they got out of DeAndre Swift is such a blessing. What do you have, 170 yards or something like that?
Mm-hmm.
They're doing all this. I know the Patriots game wasn't as sexy as people wanted it to be, but they're doing all this really with A.J. Brown hasn't been involved yet. I mean, Devonta Smith obviously had 130 yards last night. And,
A.J. Brown could have had 2 touchdowns. They both got wiped out.
Yeah. But, he hasn't really contributed yet. Rashad Penny hasn't contributed yet. I mean, they haven't really gotten full motion, I guess is what I'm really trying to get here. They're not on all cylinders quite yet. And they're 2-0. And, the defense giving up 28 points is a little bit of a head scratcher to me. But I know the last one was kind of a garbage time touchdown. But I mean, like this, I'm saying, like this is a tale of two teams where the Eagles have to be 2-0 right now. Like they just have to be, based on their division, the talent. Whereas the Vikings being 0-2, to me, doesn't really feel like it hurts that bad at the moment.
Possibly. But
I mean, I know Detroit has a chance to be 2-0 this week against the Seahawks. I get that. But they haven't beaten the Vikings yet. So, I mean, head-to-head, there's still 2 meetings left. If the Vikings can turn the ship around, they're obviously still in contention for the North. I mean, with Dallas, I know the Giants, they're going to be better.
They
especially
will.
They're playing the Cardinals this week. They should get a win. So, being 2-0, if you want to be at the top of your division, you had to be 2-0, and the Eagles have done just that.
Well, let's take a break because we got a lot of games to get to. When we come back, after you go to MikeandAaronDrive.com, of course, if you're not already there, we're talking all things NFL Week 2. This should be fun. Don't go anywhere. Bye. Well, not. See you. Good Lord. We're right back.
All right, welcome back here to the AM Drive on this football. What was it? What we used to call it? Friday Football Frenzy?
Yeah.
Except we don't do any college on Fridays. We save that for the Wednesday show. So hopefully you guys enjoy that. If you didn't catch the Wednesday show and you want a little college football talk, make sure you head over to the YouTube channel, subscribe, and then watch the Wednesday show.
Zach?
We are presented by Agridime. If you want the best meats, the highest quality meats delivered directly to your door from the leaf slicer up there, you got to go to our friends at Agridime. MikeandAaronDrive.com. Click the logo. Looks just like that. When you're in there, shop to your heart's content. Add to cart times a million. AM Drive is the promo code for 10% off of your order. Tell them the boys at AM Drive sent you. We appreciate you.
Yes, sir. My Colts and the Houston Texans. So I am a Colts fan, as we all know.
Are you a Colts fan?
That's a great running joke since you asked that question on the show. This is an indoor game, which is good for both teams' quarterbacks. Obviously, Colts played an indoor game last week. But I think Texans being at home helps them a little bit more. Although after watching their replay, I thought C.J. Stroud looked, after watching the full replay, he looked pretty good. Despite what their offense did with the penalties. But I thought Colts also looked good in week one, despite their 10-point loss and Andre Sisco having other plans as well for a comeback. I also was very impressed. I know Doug Peterson's offense kind of carved us up. I thought our defensive backs were like right there to make plays, though. I was very impressed with that. As I said, I do like the Colts defense. And I think personally, getting like this was Colts -1.5 when I first saw it. Then it was Texans -1. So it's kind of shifted a little bit. People buying more into it. I think Colts are going to beat them. I don't think it's going to be an overtime game this year. I don't think it's going to be a game-winning field. I think Colts are going to win about 29-20. I think Anthony Richardson has a good game. And I think both quarterbacks could have a good game, but we'll see. But I like the Colts to win. I kind of like the money line here easily.
Yeah, I mean, if you're looking at just, pure on-paper talent, it would make sense to back the Colts in this spot because they do have better assets around Anthony Richardson. Do we know the status of Anthony Richardson? I mean, I know that
he was full participant last 2 days.
Okay, so that's good. I mean, you're right. If I had to make a bet on this, I'd probably be backing the Colts as well. But it's just one of those historical stats. It's like the Colts just they just don't perform well against the Texans. We know the historical, wasn't it last year? There was a season finale. It wasn't Lovie Smith who gave the middle finger to the Houston.
I didn't see that part. I'm glad he's fired. Good.
Figuratively, dude, calm down. Figuratively.
Oh, that's right. You get me fired up there.
But wasn't it by beating Indianapolis to lose the number 1 pick?
I don't think. Did they go 1-1? Wow. Okay.
I think they lost. I think they won the game. It was like the last game of the year, and they won the game. They lost the number 1 overall pick to Chicago because of winning that game. And so, anyways, yeah, I mean, like I said, I think Richardson's the more talented quarterback with the more potential. I don't like either of these quarterbacks. That's the problem.
Oh goodness.
I don't. I don't think there's a long career for either of them. That total sits right at the spot where I would love to take the over.
No, I'm gonna say, yeah. Better take the over.
I want no part of this game. Like I feel like I would just probably take the home team on default. But you're right. On paper, it looks like the Colts have the better roster. So I don't hate your pick of Colts money line, but God, this is a game where I would not want a ticket on it because I'd be forced to watch
it. Thank you. Zach Moss is back, I believe, this week as Evan Hull, our rookie, after 1 carry in his career, has been placed on the IR. That kind of sucks. So Jonathan Taylor just gets some more ammo right there, which is really sad. But yeah, I think over 40 would be a better bet if we don't like either teams to really win yet. I like the over 40 as well. The Raiders and the Bills. Bills are favored by 8.5, and the total is at 47. I watched more of the Bills than I did the Raiders this week, but I know Jimmy G did have a pretty efficient game 1 as they walked in and beat the Broncos by the score exactly how I picked it, 17-16. I'm not flexing that by any means. I'm just saying that's.
I would flex that. I mean, you saw 2 offenses that were in the offseason supposed to be better, especially Sean Payton's. The Broncos averaged 16.5 points a game last year under Nathaniel Hackett, and
who was historically bad according to Sean Payton.
Yeah, historically bad. It was the lowest in the league, and they come out in the week 1 of Sean Payton's tenure and score 16 points.
So that's funny you mentioned 16. I still believe that Josh Dable, he wishes it was Josh Dable still. I still think Brian Dable means a boatload to Josh Allen, as we've seen last week. I'm not overreacting to that either. I think in Buffalo is tough. I do think, like Jimmy G, Josh Jacobs, Devontae Adams, Hunter Renfrow, the whole crew, I think Bills win 24-16, but this doesn't seem like that was when it was 9.5, by the way. Now it's only 8.5.
It was up to 10 at one point.
Yeah, so I like the Raiders, and apparently the public is with me. Well, the Raiders to cover, but Bills to win, obviously.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that. Even at 10, I liked the Bills. Just to get back off the schneid, the public's obviously low on the Bills after the Zach Wilson Monday night debacle. I don't trust the Raiders to go west to east, play an early game. I hope this thing just keeps coming down. I would like to eventually place a bet on the Bills. If it comes down to like 7.5, you know where I'm going.
This is your AM Drive 5? Come on.
No, this is not in my AM Drive 5 at all. Because you're right. Josh Allen at home in day games where the eyeballs aren't on him, he's fine. He's like turning into Kirk Cousins. But I'd like to give you some credit here.
Oh.
You were the first person that I know of, whether public figure or, just side podcast or whatever. Let's be honest, you're a Daily Dive legend. So this is just your side work. So I get it.
Side chick,
I'm glad you make time for me. Thank you. But you were the first person to say that Brian Dable leaving the Bills is going to matter to Josh Allen. So tip of the cap to you, sir. But I still think the Bills get this one by 10 points.
That's a fair point. It's not my AM Drive 5, so it wouldn't kill me if it goes either way. But you make a good point about traveling west to east. And I think the early game and Josh Allen not having the public eye, I do like that. That's a good pick. You may have convinced me. The Baltimore Ravens and the Cincinnati Bengals is, after watching those two teams play the past week, I think I know we said, Ravens only won like 25-9 against the Texans. I'm telling you what, that Ravens offense is not bad. Like, that thing was cooking. Even with like J.K. Dobbins' injury, he looked really good again until his injury, which is really sad. But I think they found a gem in Zay Flowers. I don't know how he fell as far as he did after seeing him now. Mark Andrews will probably be back this week. Odell Beckham Jr. looks healthy and spry. Lamar looked like he was passing the ball pretty well. I got bad news for Bengals fans, man. This is still week 2. And Joe Burrow's still got a little bit of rust. I think that's just enough. I think Ravens get him, man. I think it's 2-0 and 0-2, as we've kind of foreseen here.
Yeah, are you shocked that this line is only 3 points in favor of Cincinnati?
I'm shocked it's in favor of Cincinnati after what we saw week 1. They're
So
saying it's an even game?
Well, I'm not shocked. I mean, depending on how you view home field advantage, yeah.
And last year's playoff game?
I thought for sure after both teams played week 1, this line would be 1.5 at best for Cincinnati. But there's got to be something that we don't know. I mean, obviously, Jamar, nobody for the Bengals. Like, there's nothing on the Bengals that was good last week. So it's tough to see. I mean, I'm going to be excited to watch this game. This will be, the game I probably can tune into, with on top of Red Zone as well. But just Cincinnati just seems to have the Bengals number in the Joe Burrow era. I'm sorry, the Ravens number in the Joe Burrow era.
Right.
And then when they don't, these games are just so close. It's hard to sit there and confidently back Cincinnati -3, but I just don't know. I don't know if I can back the Ravens just historically in this spot with J.K. Dobbins. I mean, it's so crazy. J.K. Dobbins down again. It's like I'm watching a video. I'm watching Groundhog Day over and over again with this stuff. Like, I know they have a new offensive coordinator in Baltimore, and I know Lamar Jackson's now got paid, and OBJ looks spry, but
OJ.
To me, it just seems like same old Ravens. Every single year, they just don't break the script at all. Like, I know they have
don't
better
break through. Yeah.
I know they have better receivers now, which gives me a little bit of boost of confidence for them. But if they can't do it, they can't get it done this year. I mean, they're stuck with Lamar Jackson at this point.
Yeah, I don't know if he. Yeah, that's a good point.
I know. I'm saying a lot of epiphany type things in week 2, but Baltimore can't lose this game, right? I mean, this is a big game. This is a big game to get a W in.
After week 1, looking at both teams, you would have to hope for Baltimore's psyche they win this game.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to think that Joe Burrow just getting punched in the mouth really wakes him up. So I'm hoping for a good game. Probably Bengals money line if I had to make a pick.
I got 27-24. I wrote down my heart says don't count out Joe Burrow. My head says Ravens have coaching advantage and revenge on their minds from the playoff game. But my heart says Burrow's got a chance, but my head is like,
I think all that's very accurate.
Thank you. Chiefs and Jaguars. This game should be pretty hyped up because it's two very good offenses. Trevor Lawrence has been on a little bit of a hot streak the last 10 games or so, dating back to last season. And of course, Chiefs lost in week 1. Is there a Super Bowl hangover? Are they going to come slow out of the gates? We'll have to see. Aaron, I like Chiefs to win this game. I got 33-24 because I think the Jaguars let a rookie quarterback who was very raw look very comfortable. I know that was in Indianapolis, but I don't think that means anything at this point, at least right now. I feel like Chiefs defense did enough against the Lions, who I thought should have had a better offense than what they played with. And I feel like the Chiefs are going to win this game pretty comfortably, so I would lean towards a 3.5. The total scares me because some of these big games the Chiefs playing, they kind of like to slow it down with the run game. They end up not like going in a shootout. But other games they get in a shootout, so I don't know what to think of the total.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you on this, but I think a lot of people are looking at last year's playoff game. Jacksonville kept it close in Kansas City. This game's obviously at home, so it makes a lot of sense for people to like Jacksonville in this spot. I don't hate Jacksonville. I don't love the hook. I'm wondering if the public will bring that down to 3. But with Chris Jones coming back, hopefully he's coming back 100%. I'm just not high on the Jags this year.
He's coming back this week?
As far as I know, he should be back, yeah.
Wow, I didn't realize he was just said screw the contract. Okay, cool.
No, he signed a 1-year.
I need to get more notifications on apparently.
Yeah, he signed. I think he was making like 20 a year, and I think he's now making like 25 for 1 year. So
that was what broke the back, man. I'm telling you.
Well, as you start getting fined $5 and $6 and $7 and $8 and $9 million, just getting an extra 5 and having them waiving all those fees matters. Anyways, yeah, I kind of like Kansas City in this one as well. I think we're going to get a little bit of a shootout.
Oh,
so I probably tend to lean toward the over 51 here, but yeah, Chiefs by a touchdown.
I had 33-24 because I just couldn't bring the Jaguars to keep scoring. I feel like they're going to cap at a certain point. And again, in Jacksonville, I think the public might try to bring it down, but it's like, okay, it's in Jacksonville. They literally have back-to-back London games this year. Let that sink in.
I have a feeling they're not coming back to the States during those weeks.
Yeah, they better not. Good Lord, that'd be stupid.
Well, you see the Raiders, actually, now that I think about it, I just was reading. I don't think it changes my mind because I still think the Bills are more talented. The Raiders actually stayed in West Virginia this week. So they're actually not going west to east. So if that's a big factor to you, then you may want to rethink your picks. I still think Bills win by 10, but it's just something to think about. I just read that.
Aaron's sources are getting him right now. I like him.
I got the Schefter phone.
Yeah, right. Don't text my number. No. Or lose my number, whatever it is. Right. Chargers and Titans. The Tennessee Boy, I have a hypothetical question. I know this won't happen against the Chargers defense, but let's say it does just for the hell of it, and I hate the Titans. Can you imagine if Ryan Tannehill puts up another dud this week? How many people will be calling for his head? Like after what Tua did to them last week, I'm telling you, man, Titans better keep this one close. Because I don't know if the candidates just rough it up and be ugly, but Ryan Tannehill cannot have another stinker like he just did.
Yeah, this one's an interesting one. It's in my AM Drive 5, so I will reserve. I will reserve judgment for it, which I have a different number than you have as far as the spread goes, but I may have to adapt to your number.
You have 2.5?
I have 2.5. Yeah.
Well, it could be that in some places. I just know Caesars on ESPN had those, so you know.
Anyways, this is. I was listening to a podcast this week.
Oh, dirty boy! I'm kidding.
Am I not allowed to listen to podcasts? I lost my train of thought. So the guy brought up a good point. He said, if Ryan Tannehill is going to play like a rookie, why don't you just play your rookie?
Right.
I mean, you have Will Levis. You want to see what you can get out of him. I know Malik Willis is just in such a limbo factor. I think you're right. If the Chargers roll through Tennessee with a big win, you have to kind of look, because this is a contract year for Ryan Tannehill, and I would lay the wood on under 0.5% that he's going to be a Titan next year. Let's put it that way. So, this game's in my AM Drive 5. Let's just say, if you want a little hint of what happens later in the show, let's just say the Titans start exploring other quarterback options.
I've got the Chargers to win 31-17 when I handicapped it. I think the only thing that way this game is close to me is if it's raining in Tennessee. Because apparently it was raining in the Bengals-Browns game, which I guess gives a pass to the Bengals. I don't know.
I don't know if it gives a pass. The Browns played in the same rain, but
that's fair. Packers and Falcons. Atlanta's favored by 1.5, and I asked myself how. I don't know. Is it Atlanta? I can't see us. Maybe there's not enough trust in Jordan Love yet. I'm trying to make sure this one did make. It did not make my AM Drive 5. It almost did though. I almost just took the Packers. I'm like, I saw enough of Jordan Love week 1 where I'm like, we're going to have to keep on beating Vegas until they catch up to us. I mean, it's one of the few times you can do that because they don't we don't know who he is. And this is the Falcons defense. I don't care. I got Packers to win all day in this one.
It's funny you mentioned that because the line opened up Packers -1 and has immediately moved to the other side to Atlanta -1.5. I think this thing might even be up to 2. This thing missed my AM Drive 5. Literally, it's written on my AM Drive 5 and scratched out. So that's how close it was. I'm on the other side. I think the Falcons. Get a home win. I think honestly the public is just, here we go. This is Brett Favre to Aaron Rodgers, Jordan Love. He beat the Bears. Let's calm down with this.
Bears are bad.
Let's calm down with this narrative that they got another quarterback that's going to be around for 15 years. Right. I'm not saying he's not. I'm just saying I think that even that is probably built into the line because they opened up a favorite probably for one of those reasons and completely went the other way. The line movement completely went the other way. I also like the under in this spot. I actually have this on a teaser. I've already bet it. When Atlanta was -1, +1, I took them to +8.
Nice.
And on over 33.5. I do think this game, I have a hard time seeing this game touch 41-42, but I do think this game will get to the mid-30s, kind of almost like a Broncos Raiders game last week, the 17-16, 20-17 type game.
Falcons would love that because they would win that game.
Agreed. And I think being at home, I think that matters as well.
They're home back-to-back weeks, and that also took into effect why I don't have a complete blowout. I was like, okay, well, maybe Packers are traveling from Chicago to Atlanta. I get it.
Well, I mean, they went back home, but yeah, it's pretty much Chicago and Green Bay are 3 hours apart. It's not that big a deal.
I don't know, man. I like LaFleur over Arthur Smith in this spot, and I like Love over Ritter. I know it's not saying much because I feel like they're kind of even right now. I think Green Bay matches up well. I think they can play the ugly running pound game too.
Aaron Jones going to play?
I mean, A.J. Dillon, I'd trust him against a mean Falcons defense.
Maybe so. We'll see.
Fair enough. Seahawks and the Lions. This game was a shootout last year, right? Didn't these two teams play last year and like winning some random shootout? Then at the end of the year, we thought they were pretty good.
I think you're right. Yeah, it was 40, 45, 42 or something like that.
Right, like that was like early in the season. We were like, "Oh wow, this is a flash in the pan?" That turned out not to be. The Lions are favored by 4.5 here. Total set at 47. I personally love Jared Goff at home, baby. I'm going, but because I don't like the 4.5, it's just weird to me. You know, I hate that line. I'm gonna go with over 47 in this game.
This is one game I looked at on the slate, looked at the spread, looked at the total, and just immediately stopped looking at this game. Like I don't know what to do. You have your 0-1 team who's desperate to get a win. They got to go on the road. I could see it covering this spot with a real tough game, but Lions winning it. You're right. I could see a shootout. Maybe these two teams got a little more disciplined on defense, and we don't have a shootout. We have a tough struggle game. Like I was just like, you know what, I'm out. I'm out on this game. I have no interest in handicapping it. I'll take Lions in a close one at home.
What your Lions can win on a walk-off field goal for all I care. As long as it might hit 50, I'll be fine with that.
It's fine. Yeah, I looked at it and I was like, I wouldn't even know where to begin citing this thing.
Fair enough. Bears and Buccaneers. This one is in my AM Drive 5. Just know that I rewatched the Buccaneers game, and I got an interesting proclamation to make, but I'll leave it for you.
Okay. Yeah, I think the Bucs get a win here, and to go up 2-0 is it's a bittersweet feeling because I was really hoping they'd tank this year and go get Caleb
Didn't you say Baker would have a career year and just screw you, and then it happens?
Well, he had a career week, which is funny you mentioned that because it came out this week that he knew all the defensive signals for the Vikings and still only passed for 80 yards in the second half. At least that's what he said. He said he knew the signals and what the majority of the coverages were and still only passed for 80 yards. So take that for what you will with Baker Mayfield. I think the Bucs get a win. I think they cover the spread. I think they win between 3 and 5 points. Fair
point. I'll leave it there. Giants and the Cardinals. This thing's at 39.5, and for good reason. I watched the replay of the Cardinals game. Aaron, I know people are like, well, the Cardinals, they were like, oh crap, we're tanking. That defense did not give a crap about the tanking. It was the problem. The problem in that game was that they have Josh Dobbs at quarterback. He's at quarterback again this week, by the way. But Josh Dobbs literally every 3rd and long just made a crappy throw. He played well every other down, just the 3rd and longs. I was like, oh, that's why they have Josh Dobbs in there because they can't convert anything. I'd like to think Giants win, but covering 4 against a team that I actually like defensively, I don't want it. I think the Giants do win, but I'm telling you, Cardinals could fool around and get a win here, Aaron.
Well, if you're telling me that the Giants are a 4-point favorite on the road, Washington, somewhat of an equal team to the Giants, was a 7-point favorite at home. I think this number matches. The Giants are in desperation mode. They can't afford to go 0-2, obviously, especially against the Cardinals. I think they go over there and get a 7-point victory in Arizona. I don't see the same type of game. I think they got too many weapons, whereas Washington, in my opinion, does not. This is your $40 million man right here that has to go and guarantee winning a football game. So I'll take the Giants on the road. I'll lay the 4. I'm not going to bet this game. I'm not going to watch this game, but that was where I would lean.
It was at 5.5 when I handicapped it. That's interesting. Yeah. I just realized that. So, and I actually had it at 27-13, but again, I think the Cardinals defense can make this get ugly in the first half and then kind of lose it late, but I don't know.
Let's take a break real quick. I need 30 seconds.
All right, we'll be right back, folks. See you later. best show of all time. This is the best show of all time.
I agree. All right, we are back here. Sorry, quick 30-second break. Had to put out some fires in the house. Not literally, of course, but Shankit. It's a good time to talk to you about our friends at Shankit Golf. Even if you play bad like I do, you can still look good with our friends at shankitgolf.com. Code AMDrive for 15% off your order. Or you can go to mikeandaarondrive.com, click the logo. Looks just like that. If you forget the name or the website, it's okay. I understand. It happens. But mikeandaarondrive.com, click the logo, shop to your heart's content. AM Drive is the promo code for 15% off of your entire order.
And for that, we are Shankful.
There you go.
49ers Rams. 49ers favored by 7.5. I almost didn't love that until I watched the 49ers game. I'm like, they're just an old machine right now. Brock Purdy, the one thing he does do well, that I like a lot, is he drives the ball down the middle of the field. And it seems to they seem to be on the same page. Him and Ayuk have an interesting magical connection, like you said on Monday's show. They look pretty good. I'd like to think the Rams can keep it close because it's an NFC West matchup. But Aaron, this 49ers team, they're tough. I can see them winning by 8 points and just making it I don't think they're going to blow them out, but I think they're going to handily win this game.
Well, this game's in my AM Drive 5. This is the one that snuck in without taking the Falcons out. So I feel confident in this game. You have Kyle Shanahan, who just controls Sean McVay in the win column. I think he's 6-0 or 7-0 or 7-1 against Sean McVay in their 10 years as Niners and Rams coaches. This game isn't SoFi. The Rams looked good last week. They
without Kupp.
They've got a new stable of receivers, none of which I can pronounce their names.
Puka Nacua is good.
Is that what we're calling him? Puka Nacua?
I'll call him Puka Bear.
Then you have Tutu, and then you have Higbee. There's just a bunch of guys that they're playing with house money. They got nothing to lose in this spot. Kyren Williams showed himself as maybe a potential back with splitting time with Cam Akers. I think that's the play with Cam Akers. He's not a lead back. I think we've learned that. These games are always close.
Mm-hmm.
But you're right. San Francisco looked like a machine last week. This game opened up at 7. It's already now been pushed to 7.5. I think this is game of the week, in my opinion. So I'll reserve my pick for the AM Drive 5, but I think we get a pretty awesome viewing experience this Sunday with this game.
I kind of handicap at 24-20. I did handicap at 24-20 49ers.
Gotcha.
Just because I feel good, okay? I had a great week 1. Jets and Cowboys. Zach Wilson's New York Jets. Even though Rodgers didn't make a posting, I'm coming back. Well, good for you, sir. Cowboys. I know 40-0 happened, but as I've said before, Daniel Jones always stinks it up against that team. I don't know what it is. It's like Joe Burrow in Cleveland. There you go, fans. I really like to think the Jets can keep this closer because their defense is pretty good too. And I didn't see enough from Dak throwing the football last week. In Jerry World, good point. I got 27-20 Cowboys. I kind of like the over 30. I do like it over 39.5, so I definitely love over 38.5. And I'll take the Jets to cover as well.
So this game, the look-ahead line with Rodgers was Dallas -3. Then when Rodgers goes down and Zach Wilson's named, obviously the starter, it goes to Dallas -7.5, immediately pushed up to 9.5 in some spots.
Yep, that's where I saw.
I don't know if I buy it. I don't know if this Cowboys team is 9 to 9.5 points better than the Jets, even with Zach Wilson.
Right.
I think people are sleeping on Zach Wilson. Now, do I think he's God's gift? No, absolutely not.
I agree.
But with the addition of Dalvin Cook, I mean, that could look like a huge signing. 1, stealing him away from a rival in Miami, and 2, just having him with Breece Hall. I mean, look how good Breece Hall looked.
Good.
Yeah, and I know that they're going from the Bills defense straight to the Cowboys defense, who you could argue the Cowboys may have the best defense in the league. Micah Parsons obviously makes that, puts that in the conversation. I think this is an ugly one. I think, you're expecting an over game here with the Cowboys putting up 40 last week. But, I mean, you were talking about special teams and defensive touchdowns. Those just don't come every week. That just doesn't happen. I kind of like the under in this spot, and I kind of like the Jets to cover it as well. I think the Jets' best weapon is to just keep the ball away from Dallas's offense. So if you're going to use a steady dose of that running game, Zach Wilson on some short screens, I think Jets might even be able to sneak out a win here. I know that's crazy.
No, it's not crazy. I agree with that.
But I'll say Cowboys. I'll say like 19-16 in this spot. Something weird.
I actually love that, actually. That's good. Now, you might maybe want an AM Drive 5 now. The Communists and the Broncos. I'm sorry. Denver is favored by 3.5. The total is set at 39. It was at 38 when I saw it. And I love the under then as well. I think Sam Howell played very well last week, although it doesn't look like it. If you watch the replay, he wasn't bad at all.
Okay, fair enough.
He did what he could. Russell, sorry. Sean Payton's going to save this. No, he's not. I've got Commanders to win 23-19.
This one's tough, man.
It's tough.
I feel like
I'm not going to watch. I'm just saying.
No, I know. I feel like you almost, just by default have to back the Broncos at home, high elevation to get this, but I mean, Sean Payton was supposed to make me believe again, and I don't. I'm starting to really believe Russell Wilson. This is just him.
He's cooked. Oh.
Yeah, he got cooked. Let Russell get cooked, and he got burned. They left him on the fire too long. Yeah, I'd like to see the Commanders get this one. This would be one that when I predicted everything, I didn't have the Commanders winning this game, but this would be a good one for them to steal. But I look at it. I don't see the Broncos losing this game. This might be a Denver money line type game if you like it. They could totally win this game by 3 and you get hooked. So
Brian Robinson is the key. He got shot.
It's crazy. I actually think that Washington's a good team, but in a spot like this, I don't know if I can trust him.
I think Chase Young might be back after a neck injury. I know he was out last week. They said week 3, and I was he's could be back for week 2. Good.
It's a tough one. I'd take Denver money on the money line. It's probably like minus 150 or so.
You like the under, though?
This feels like an under game just because we saw 20-16 in week 1 for these teams, but like I feel like this is one that'll go like 28-25 kind of game,
We'll see. You ready? You ready for my jingle?
Oh, jeez.
Sunday Night Football on NBC. I will continue to do that every week until Carrie Underwood, they get a new dang theme song. That is frustrating.
Just turn on the freaking game 5 minutes late, bro.
That was my TED Talk. Okay. This game is on Sunday Night Football. I don't know why. I have no idea why. Even like, how do you say this game? How do you flex this game? Not flex. How do you put this game on Sunday Night Football preseason? Like, what are your thoughts on this game? I don't understand what the intrigue is here.
You got Tua, Tyreek, and Jalen Waddle on primetime TV
against the Patriots defense. That's fantastic. I got Dolphins 27-20.
I mean, if I'm putting any game on there, it's San Francisco and the Rams. I mean, what other game are you really putting on there? Huh?
But it's not this one, that's for sure.
I think this is probably the second, maybe third best game of the week. That's not, that's the Monday Night Football games are they're meh. But
I like over 46.5 as well. I think Patriots offense can do enough against the Dolphins defense. I'll call it that.
I'm going to make a bold statement here. I'm going to say Patriots win the game.
Oh, I respect it. I get it. Let's do an AM Drive 5 before we're out of time here. I'm excited for this week. I really am. After a week 1, I'm probably going to go 0-5. That's okay.
It's funny. You say that. I don't feel great about 4 of my plays.
Oh my God! Put the Falcons back in.
Those are usually the weeks I do the best, so we'll see what happens here.
Right.
I'll go first. Start in the college realm. I'm gonna throw a little other wrinkle in here since we're
Love
expanding our betting horizons. Let's say
Mhm.
Florida State at Boston College.
The bandana game.
take-
I knew you were going to do that.
I'm gonna take Florida State first quarter. It was 6.5. I bet 6.5, but it's currently 7. So I will give you Florida State first quarter -7.
First quarter. Oh my god.
I think they get out to like a 10-14 nothing lead here in this spot. There is supposed to be a tropical storm type elements.
Nice.
What's
What's up, Lee?
Yeah, I don't know how much that'll affect if it'll even get up to Boston. I don't know. We'll see. Kansas State goes to Missouri. First half -2.5 for Kansas State.
Misery.
Missouri is not a good team. Kansas State is pretty good. I don't know if I love the full game, like 6 on the road. So I'm going to take the first half -2.5. Hawaii and Oregon under 69.
Yeah, Oregon's defense should show up in that game.
Oregon's defense should show up. I don't see Hawaii really getting much of anything in this game, and I don't think Oregon's putting up an 80 spot in this one. So I'll take the under 69.
80. That was a good one. Yes.
LA Chargers -2.5 at the Titans. This is a game Justin Herbert has to have. Like, he has to win this game. I honestly think it's a 4 to 7 point victory. Titans find a way to just be close. I mean, Mike Vrabel as an underdog has just an insane record, and at home it's absolutely incredible. I'm gonna try to buck that this week. I don't love it, but I'll be honest. I hated the NFL card this week. And then the Rams. I'm taking the Rams +7.5 in this game. They've made me a believer after 1 week. I really thought they'd be a bad team. I still think they'll be a very average team. But this is a division game. They're at home. I get the hook. Give me Rams +7.5.
The second best Smash Mouth song ever. I'm a believer. Because obviously the first best song is Somebody. Okay, I'm done.
Do you know the lead singer just died recently?
What?
He died of like liver failure. And by the way,
Oh, it's horrible.
I'm a Believer is not their original song, so
Covers are good. Sometimes covers are better. I'm sorry.
maybe so.
Ask Justin Bieber. He's got a ton of covers that are better than his. Oh, my shut up. Okay. I don't even know where that came from. Justin Bieber shots for no reason. Georgia Southern. Remember last year they walked into Nebraska, which was like reeling at that point, I think, and then won the game. I said they were going to win the game, and no one like heard about it, but until it happened, and I was like, oh, I said that. I got them to cover the +20 against Wisconsin. I don't trust transfer Tanner Mordecai from SMU enough, but I think Georgia Southern can keep this one close. Whoever that coach is, I keep on forgetting his name. Whatever they're building in Statesboro is incredible. This game obviously is in Wisconsin. I don't care. We're going to take those Wisconsin accents, and we're going to make it Georgia Southern to cover, probably lose by like 14 points. Cool.
Was that where Clay Helton ended up?
Yes, I think so. But they're building. The Georgia Southern's been really good the last couple of years under the radar.
Okay.
South Carolina, Spencer Rattler. You have one last chance to make me love you at all, or even like you, even have a crush on you, even think about you on my side eye, dude. You're too cool of a man with too cool of a name to not. He's like the cute version of Josh Dobbs. It's weird. Those guys they're so weird looking.
I think you do have a crush on him.
No, I'm telling you, Spencer Rattler, I need you to do well. I'm going to go +27.5. I don't trust Carson Beck. So he's like a rock star at this point.
He does, doesn't he?
Sorry. South Carolina or crappy country singer. South Carolina covered 27.5. Colts flexing the money line against the Texans at -105. I went 2-0 on money lines last week.
Wait, aren't they the dog in this game?
They probably are now. Yeah, sure. So I like them even better.
That's
right. Because when I handicapped it, it was
plus.
Colts' favorite. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
So that's plus money. Good for you. Buccaneers to cover the 2.5 against the Bears. I think Baker looks better than what Tom Brady did last year. That's my proclamation for you. I'm sorry. And Browns Steelers, I'm going to have to wait till Monday for this game. We're going to go under 38.5. Both offenses suck, even though I think Deshaun Watson looked better than what he's given credit for in week 1.
I dig it. The Bucks just fell out of my AM Drive 5 too.
Oh, well.
So we're thinking alike here in the spot. That's good. I like to see that. So we'll have the graphic up for you guys, so you can obviously, check out our picks. 5-1, or you were 4-1 and 3-2 last week.
We were incredible.
So that is 7-3. That's a good start for the AM Drive 5 boys. But until Monday, we say enjoy your sports weekend. Gamble responsibly. For Michael Carvelis, I'm Aaron Crowd saying adios, and as always,
Drive safe, amigos.